Hi, I'm John from New Zealand Home Loans in Pukekohe. We do home loans, we do insurance, and one thing I've always loved is to do projects. As a family, we were looking for a multi-generational property, and this one came up, and it had an older cottage there. The reason why we moved it is exactly for that. It's for potentially our retirement, saying, hey, we can rent part of the property out, or we can have family living together, son or daughter or whoever might be there, to live with us in a separate house, not feeling like you're actually living with each other, but you've got your own property. So we've been looking for one of these for the last probably 2 years, and I think we found it, but it needed some work done, so that's where we're at. The last house we built in full was probably, you could say, a bit of a nightmare. We became project managers ourselves. One builder went the way of the dodo into liquidation. Another one, I rang up one day that took over the job, and he says, I can't do things because I've moved to Australia. But it was very frustrating. So one of the reasons why we chose Build Unlimited is we're comfortable with how Pete presented himself, how he talked to us, how he communicated with us. And yeah, that's part and parcel of what you really want to make sure you get out there. That's done right. If you don't get that right, then project just turns to custard. But we've got a great product at the end of it. Then when the project starts, the communication's fantastic, and the professionals that come with Build Unlimited, the contractors that they use, I feel they know what they're doing, and the trust is there, because trust is a big thing. You kind of start a project and you have in mind how you think it will look. Then you find the builder, i.e. Build Unlimited, to do the project for you. And one of the big things is the person that drives it, like Pete, would be sitting with you, and you get that feeling he really understands what your goal is. We really want to make sure that the lounge, the laundry and the bathroom were the ones that really were the living space where you spend most of your time. Pete sort of communicated through it as well and saying, well, costing wise, here's where we're at, gave us some ideas. And what I particularly liked is the time frame in which he was going to finish the job. He was on time every time with things that were there. You know, the odd time is a day late, a day earlier, but overall, I think we beat the timeline by a week, so we were a week early finishing the project, which helps everybody. I think when you work with Build Unlimited, you have the brief, and as you go through a project, if it's just a build, you know where you're at, a brand new house. But this was not a brand new house, so you've got to break it first before you put it back together. And really, as you go through, for instance, fixing up the roof, then choose to put solar on there, Pete says it's probably for the longevity better to put a new roof on. Again, you kind of think, oh, costing and all that sort of thing. It wasn't actually too bad by the time the costing came through, but he's really thinking about the long-term benefit you have as well, rather than the short-term fix that you might have to fix up 2-3 years later. Then you go through and certain things were measured, didn't quite fit, but solutions came through really quickly. And Pete probably had the solution already before he came to us and asked the question. So, you know, it's I just like a project to go smooth and work with the person that knows what they're doing. I think one of the things is the Friday video update. I mean, we're living next door, so we can see it anyway. If you're building anywhere, you're not always close, it's really cool via the process that Pete does on the Friday. He just walks through the house and saying, here's where we're at, this is what we're doing, this is what we're doing next week. It's not only good for the communication side of things, but it's also really cool to keep that as a memento and saying, this is what the house was before. So in regards to what we have there, if I recommend Build Unlimited to other people, I'd have no hesitation to do so, especially for those real big jobs, i.e. it could be a totally new build, or it could be a major renovation. Ours was a major renovation on a small home, but it was a pretty good project to do. So yeah, no problem whatsoever. They know what they're doing.